Hi everyone, Esther here from Esther-Astro-Healing. Thank you so much for tuning to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome. And I'm really happy that you decide to understand Kabbalistic knowledge a little bit from different perspective. Just to remind you guys, I do not practice Western astrology. I do practice sidereal system and mainly direct sky, fixed science, through the Kabbalistic knowledge and definitely knowledge of the Torah and Old Testimony, not necessary at all from religious perspective, but mainly from spiritual perspective, in order to understand the bigger picture, so to say. And just to remind you, every time when we connect to sky through the Torah, we really connect to the essence of the creation, because the Torah, it's not just some book and just the Bible. It's really living organism, I called. Very, very important for us to understand, because Torah cannot be understood literally. It's definitely, there's a lot of behind a lot of codes. This is why Zohar, it's extremely important as well to study Zohar, to understand in much deeper understanding of the thought of creation. What is the cause and effect? Why we're here? How the all other kingdoms was created before the man created? Why? And how we all connected? Why we need to understand the whole concept about oneness, one soul, one body. So right now, before I'm gonna explain what's happened in the sky, because what's happened this week, as you probably know from other channels, very important conjunction happened. I'm gonna point with my arrow. You can see Mars, and you see Ketu. Ketu, it's a south node. A very, very important karmic combination. It's connected to our past lives. So it's always recommend for you to check your chart, not Western astrology, definitely the sidereal. You always can find link under each video, and you can see, you can calculate and find out where exactly your south and north node, and most importantly, where's your rising and moon. If you don't know your rising, you definitely check your moon. If you know exactly your rising, I do still recommend to check if, for example, you born during the dark hours, which is after sunset, you really more connecting to the moon energy. If you born more after sunrise, during the sun hours, so you're more connecting to your rising, but there's other more things involved. Anyway, always connect and understand both. But for today, what I wanted to do, I want us to first to go to this weekly portion, Torah, which is called Vayechi, and he lived. And it's such a profound portion, which is so connected to what's happening in the sky. You will understand after I finish to explain. And what's really, really fascinating, this is the last section in the book of Bereshit, Genesis. And it's really this Torah portion, it's combine all the energy of the whole book of Bereshit, the seed level. After the Rosh Hashanah, when we start, when our soul gain a few vessel, new vessel, new energy. And if you, for example, missed any Torah reading, it always says it's very, very important for men and women to listen the last of each book, because then the last reading, it's usually contain all the energetical force and wisdom of previous portions. Of course, it's really important to listen to each portion, but if you missed it, it's a good idea. Now, what I want us to start, I wanted to my teacher, Rav Berg, one of his explanation of this weekly portion, he explained, he's actually staying from a few explanation from Ramban. Ramban is one of the righteous souls. His full name is Rav Moshe ben Nachman, and he's as well known as Nachmanides. He used to live in the end of the 11th century through the 12th century. And what's really, and he explained, and one of the reasons that Jacob, it's one of the very main things in this portion, it's when Jacob made swear, he said to Joseph, swear to me. And it's really, really important. You will understand, guys, why this particularly point of the portion I want us to bring today to our attention, and how it's directly connected to the sky. So the Ramban explain Ramban, which is end with not Rambam, because we have two, and I'm staying Ramban, which is end up with nun with N. One of the reasons then Jacob made Joseph swear and to bury him in Israel in the cave of Machpelah in Hebron is the same place where the Adam, Eve, Abraham, Sarah, Jacob, and Rebecca bury, and Leah was that he would actually definitely will do it. He made him swear. If Jacob wouldn't not force Joseph to swear, there was possibility that Joseph would never went through with this process, right? And will go to extra effort, will made extra effort, and perhaps would have failed to bury his father Jacob in Israel. So, and remember, what is the Jacob? Jacob represent in the tree of life reality. He represents central column energy. He's extremely important. His energetical force. Plus Jacob, because if he's a central column energy, and before him we have Abraham, which represent right column energy, and then we have Isaac represent left column energy. Because of his ancestral lineages, what they accomplished, he was able to combine those both energetical forces, right and left, in order to be the central column energy, the balance. This is how the light can be revealed, right? When we take electrical lamp, they provide for us light and electricity. The only way for the lamp to reveal light, it's when the minus and plus in total balance, and this is how the filament reveal the light. So just for us to understand, we're not just talking about names and of course the righteous people, we're talking about the chariots of very important energetical force of the dimensions, the 10 Sefirot, the tree of life reality. And therefore, we need to understand to bring Jacob to Israel, that central column energy was really important in order for us to bring eventually the final redemption. And it actually says that Red Sea was a split in zchut, in merit of Yaakov. So Yaakov, it's extremely important. So we know that Joseph loved his father. Uh, there was no words to describe how the connection they have. And by the way, one of the reasons they have such a special connection, because Yosef himself, he represents the Yesod. In Yesod, its location tree of life, in its center column as well. So they share a similar energetical force as well. So when Jacob want to teach us by making Yosef swear, what we really want to learn from that, it's really important. This is the kick point I want to explain to you. So we know that, Jacob was in great danger during Joseph was in great danger during the Jacob's funeral, if you know the story of the Torah. So without the swear and oath, there's a potential that Joseph will fear and may not really will go through, and he wouldn't go the extra mile and make impossible possible, and to bring his father to the cave of Machpelah. So when Jacob made him swear, Joseph received new strength. His mochin, his spirit, mochin come from the word moach, and this is the spirit was born with, and his support received, so to say, extra strength. So knowing that he had the power overcome any obstacles, anything may come his way. You understand how powerful it is? We in potential, we have much more power, much more happiness inside of us than we actually using. Because every time when we go an extra mile, we suddenly reveal then we have much more inside of us. We can do much more. We can connect to much bigger picture when we're stuck in limited reality. If we tell ourselves, for example, that it seems impossible to restrict our desires, we must awaken ourselves to realize how much we own to creation. God, creator, give us the air to breathe, food to eat, our house we live, and even more than we want to receive from the creator, creators actually want to give to us like a good parent as well. It says in Talmud, the desire of the cow to feed its calf is much greater than the desire for the calf to eat. You understand? So we really need to understand there's so much out there waiting for us. So much was already created for us. And another thing we have to remember, when I mention Abraham and Isaac before Jacob, we need to remember our own ancestral lineages did so much before us. There's so much work done. There's so many pain and suffering need to be overcome, so many revelation. And remember, every time before soul leaves this world, it sees everything what it's done, everything what the soul missed, everything. And what's important to remember, because we are not on ourselves alone, we have all the ancestral lineages behind us waiting for our spiritual growth. They're cheering for us, they're really supporting us. We need to remember how much support we have from every direction possible. We just really need to really to awaken inside of us this inner power we're born with and we carry with us, and in many occasions we don't even use, right? So what's really, really important, and one of the another thing, so I want us to look at the sky and for you guys to understand why it's so powerful and how it's actually connecting to what has happened right now. So if you look at Mars, right, and we look in the Ketu, and the conjunction literally start last night. And the whole month, December, we're going to really feel this tremendous energy. We need to just to understand what is the Mars. Mars in Hebrew called Ma'adim. It represents a letter Dalit, which is dinim, connect to judgment. But without proper judgment, without really connecting to the depth of the depth, and don't forget it's in Scorpio, sign of deep healing, deep understanding behind this scene, the mystery which is we have inside of us. It's really, really important to understand the benefit of the Mars, because Mars, it's like a young warrior, right? Sometimes it's lack of restriction, but if we have a wisdom, we know how to control the Mars we have inside of us. Mars can provide us a lot of strength. And Mars, it's something, what I love about Mars, Mars do not like when people pretend, when they lie. This is when Mars was really going to give you a lot of challenges in your chart. But if you are someone who really learned through the life experience with the wisdom and information you receive, you understood that lie, it's one of the worst thing you can carry within your soul. Because when creation see, then you pretend and you lie, this is when you create, so to say, negative energy, and there's no support, real support. It's illusion. The only chaos can be attracted. The truth, it's always better. And it's what's really important, not to pretend to be or to say something you're actually not really, you're really in your consciousness level, what you really mean. So again, just for us to understand what is the Mars. Mars represent willpower, our courage, our actions, as aggressive nature as well, anger, if we don't know how to restrict, our fighting ability for the truth, for not to compromise your spiritual growth, your spirit inside of you, only because what's happened outside, we still need to stay strong and connect to the bigger picture. It's Mars represent, by the way, our brotherhood, our brothers, our male friends, your siblings, if you have a male siblings, very important. And what is the Ketu? Ketu, in a way, Ketu, it's a south node. South nodes, it's the points, it's the nodes which just comes with the moon. They both represent very, very karmic position in our natal chart and in the sky. And Ketu also represent illusion. They both, Rahu and Ketu, in a way, illusional planet, but Ketu as well, it's something we already accomplished, what we came, the skills we came with from the past. And the difference again between Ketu, it's also Ketu remove illusion and bring enlightenment. If you know how to use your Ketu, it can bring you a lot of enlightenment. If you know how to use your past life skills you gain. And as well, Ketu represents isolation and separation, and it represents spirituality. You understand? So this combination right now in the sky is tremendous important for us so to say, to prepare for the year to come. Because I'm working on the new video about 2022, and I have to say you right away, guys, really straightforward. 2024, 22 is going to be absolutely amazing year for spiritual people who already understood what's happened, the bigger picture. Then we're already entering the time of Messiah, final redemption, and only consciousness can really help you to see the blessings. In people who have no spirituality, the 2022 is going to be much heavy and harder for them than even this year, 2021 and 2020. It's very simple, straightforward. And what else this conjunction can help us? This conjunctions, it really depends on your natal chart as well. Especially check how much Scorpio you have, because Scorpio, sign of Scorpio and energy of Scorpio, don't forget it came from 8th house, and as well it came from the vessel of Pluto. And Pluto, if you do know how to use Pluto, remember King David used to go to underworld to study, to understand the other side in order to understand how to hold the energy in the higher realms, right? So without us to understand how the other side works and how to control the other side, the negative energy, the other identity we have within us, there's nothing we need to cancel onto to finish or to kill. We need to transform. Only through the transformation we can experience balance within ourselves. So we need to understand. So really, really important. And another thing I want to mention, because the sun tomorrow, it's already transit to sign of Sagittarius. Yes, you heard me right. It's only now he's going to transit to Sagittarius. We're talking about direct sky, even though in Hebrew calendar we're already in a Capricorn, but it's actually in a directly sky in the sun direct sky. It's actually entering Sagittarius. So I want us to understand this week energy, and because it's going to will continue until end of December. And I'm going to make another video about other combination, because we're going to have a Venus and a Mercury. They will be transiting to Capricorn and they're going to stay there for a while, which is amazing, because Venus and Mars, sorry, my apology. Yes, Venus and in Mercury, they both good. They love to be in Capricorn, especially Venus. Venus loves Capricorn, and Mercury is going to be basically next to 2022. All the Mercury's retrograde is going to be in the Earth sign. It's going to really help us to be more balanced, more ground with our mind. But right now, for the next few weeks to come, do not connect to the, try to balance the fire energy within us. See how the Ketu in Mars can help you to dig very, very deep inside to understand the bigger picture. What is really spirituality? Why you came to this realm? Why you feel things certain way? If you feel certain level of anger, it's okay. There's no need to compress. There's a need to understand in order for future, when the similar situation will appear, you don't even need to restrict, because you will understand the bigger picture. Okay. And again, guys, we really need to have a lot of appreciation to the sign of Scorpio, because what says in the Gemara in Talmud, if we know Scorpio connect to the final redemption, to Mashiach, if we know how to so to say, transform the energy of Scorpio and know how to work with energy of Scorpio, we can bring the final redemption closer and closer to us. So I hope this information can help you to navigate, to improve your life. I encourage you guys to keep studying, elevating your consciousness, to connect to different work of righteous people, read the books, in order for you personally, you to connect, to understand their journey and how they was able to understand light of creator in this dimension in such a high and deep level, and connect to your ancestral lineages. What I do want to tell, especially female, and if even male, if you guys light candles on Friday night for Shabbat, every time when you light the candle, close your eyes. Imagine then behind you, you have like a big line of your ancestral lineage who's standing behind you, who support you, who send you so much love, who really proud you. and really need your work as well in order to complete this process. Okay, so many blessings, and all the best, guys. Bye bye.